What is up, guys and gals? It is your host, Thomas Fan01 here, and today is going to be an interesting live stream. You're definitely right on about that one. Today we are going to be taking a look at some pretty cool things here online here. In fact, we're going to be taking a look at a lot of things that have been leaked, a lot of things that have been announced, a lot of things that have been shown. There's a lot to be shown off in this video, so be prepared. We are about to jump in here, but we don't jump in quite yet, as we have the usual things that we need to talk about first. So, firstly, um, yeah, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the channel. So, welcome. So, anyways, right, let me see here. Let's see if we can get some of these. Let's share that real quickly here in the comments section. So, anyways, we are not officially licensed by this, but it's there if y'all want to do it. So, anyways, do a quick looky loo on the live here on the actual channel here to make sure everything is going smoothly. So things ought to be going smoothly right now. So just got to double check things. Oh, yep, we're live. We are definitely live. That's for sure. So, yeah. There we go. So if y'all didn't notice, we're live now. So have to put that out there for everybody. So that being said, we can now do a few other things here. But anyways, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Give me just a moment here. I'm doing a few pre things we usually do. So do that. We'll send all of those out to certain peeps that we know may or may not appreciate it. So anyways, point being is let's take a quick look at some of those leaks and listings. So that being said, today first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the listings here. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to share screen, and let's start with these. Now, this is quite the interesting bit here that I would like to share with everybody. So firstly, we're on the TF Wiki right now. We're on the TF Wiki, as you can clearly see. And literally, Age of the Prime Studio Series Titan and Commander class info and everything of the nature that's going to be coming next year. So that's something that I'm really stoked for. Looks like we're getting another Quintesson thing here. I don't know if this is it or not, but I know I would have felt Megatron's death. You see, Rook, to me, he is less than an ancestor, more an offspring. So this may be a different version of, I don't know what that's going to be, but looks like we also have Studio Series Transformers 1 Soundwave. Looks like that's going to be coming through here. So anyways, to start this off here, it starts off with no Titan class in 2026 because Studio Series is going to get it. Oh, really? Studio Series is getting its very first Titan class. Age of the Primes will have 2 Commander classes next year instead. They're doing another comics series, which or comics is being introduced to Studio Series in 2027. Okay, quite nice. Oh, finally, we're gonna get a Hound, getting a Leader Hound. That Swoop is getting a re-release. Um, SLP Prime. I don't know what that means. Oh, that might be Sol. No, no, would that be Solus Prime? I don't know. No, Solus we've already got. SLP Prime, so I'm going to assume that's one of our primes. And Fort Max and Soundwave are super early 2027 listings. So I'm going to assume we're either going to get a brand new Fortress Maximus or we're getting a brand new version of that. And so I know that Soundwave is supposed to be a studio series, and I know he's supposed to be leader class. So perhaps it's not going to be that big of an issue. However, let's go over the first bit for the Age of the Primes here. So the first thing that it says here is it says we're getting a Voyager class Swindle. So obviously people are going to be buying that up for the what was it, for the Bruticus, for the Bruticus one that's going on here. We're getting, it looks like we're getting a Vector Prime, but from what I understand, it's just going to be literally they're just re-releasing the Legacy United version of that. So I'm not really too surprised when they announce it, and it's going to be exactly the same. We're getting a deluxe class Jalopy. I don't remember exactly what his character was for. I can't remember exactly, period. Same thing with Joyride. Tailgate, we're also getting a Tailgate. Finally happy about that. Um, I don't know why they're bothering to give us another Armada Megatron release, because that figure was great all on its own, but it didn't sell well. So why are we going to re-release it again? It wasn't take note, if you guys did not get a hold of that thing when it was on sale for 25 bucks and or 20 bucks and or 15 bucks, because you could buy it for 15 bucks, then you guys definitely did not. We don't need another version of that. Looks like we're getting a leader class Unicron Soldier, which is going to be really interesting. So that's going to be really, really, really something here. We're getting Transformers leader. We're getting leader class Liege Maximo, which, hey, once again, I'm very pleased about. Obviously, one of those commander classes is going to be Onslaught. However, just by understanding a few things about about the second one, I understand it might be, just by looking at this listing bit here. It says that there's going to be a Gen Selects combiner, so I have a suspicion that this is going to be a Generation Selects 2-pack, or it's going to be not a Gen Selects 2-pack. I have a feeling it's going to be G2 Bruticus, and I have a feeling that the retro, they're not retro Outback, but the what is it? There's going to be another Gen Selects combiner. So I'm very much not really going to be surprised when they tell us it's either going to be G2 Menasor or it's going to be G2 Bruticus. So I won't be surprised when that all happens here. So there's that. Later this year, they're doing the Generation Timelines Optimus and Starscream, which is pretty much just the what is it? That's pretty much just the Hearts of Steel uh, Optimus and Starscream. So they're going to be finally releasing that next year out in the wild. If you guys manage to get your pre-orders in for it, I wouldn't be surprised about that. So not going to be too concerned. Um, we're getting a DTC timelines, which, if I'm not mistaken, these are comic book ones here. So from what I also understand, they might be releasing certain San Diego Comic-Con stuff later. But also, so these are also leaks. So from what I understand, some of these bits here might be Walmart exclusives, might be Comic-Con exclusives, might be Target exclusives. So I don't 100% know about what's going to happen in all of that. So, it's not perfect. It's not great. It's not the most amazing thing on the planet, but could be worse. So, all right. Next one we have here is we're getting into Studio Series. So the first thing we've got here is Studio Series Titan, which obviously is going to be something pretty interesting for that. We're going to be getting a Studio Series roleplay. I don't know who that is, but I have a feeling I know who it is. If you guys don't remember, there was a chick who played a character in Transformers, and she was kind of like the first Pretender kind of deal. So I have a feeling it could be that. We're getting an 86 Blitzwing, which once again, they're probably just going to repaint the leader class version of that. Looks like we're also getting a re-release of Rise of the Beast Scourge, so be on the lookout for that. Looks like we're also getting a Voyager class Cyclonus for Studio Series, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably going to be exactly what y'all think it's going to be. It's probably just going to be that Kingdom Cyclonus mold repainted in the Studio Series 86 colors. So nothing wrong with that. This surprises me right here. However, I'm very pleased about it. Transformers 4 Optimus Evasion Mode. That EV stands for Evasion Mode. So uh, I'm very stoked about that. It also looks like we're getting a evasion mode Bumblebee or high octane Bumblebee as well, because we're getting another Transformers 4 Bumblebee. So we're either going to get a high octane Bumblebee, which is what I highly think it's going to be, and it looks like we're also getting. It's either going to be the high octane version or it's going to be the KSI boosted version of Bumblebee. So that one's going to be interesting. Looks like all of the Transformers 1 stuff, aside from certain higher, bigger figures, are going to be all deluxe class. Because it says here on this, it says that the Transformers 1 Soundwave is going to be a deluxe class. So there's going to be that. Looks like there's going to be a re-release for 86 Swoop if you didn't manage to get a hold of that. This is actually interesting. Transformers Generation Studio Series Leader Comics Fort Max. That's really interesting. I'm really intrigued to see how that turns out. Studio Series Leader Comics Soundwave. Oh, finally. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Um, Transformers 5 Hound. That's going to be perfect. And also, it looks like we're getting a leader class of the dead version of Optimus Prime. It says sleep mode, but it says leader 86. So I'm going to assume what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to take the Commander class Optimus Prime, remove the trailer, remove roller, remove all the little bits and bobs that usually come with him, and probably just give him his ion blaster and maybe an axe. And if they're feeling lucky enough, they might give us the little explosion effects pieces. So if that is the case, then that's going to be the case. It's going to be really interesting for that. So there's that one. Looks like we're also getting a Transformers 5 Megatron. Yes, finally. This like figure has been slept on for way too long. Like seriously, Transformers Studio Series Leader Transformers 5 Megatron. I cannot tell you how excited I am. And then seriously, right next to it, um, Generation Studio Series any leader class 86 Megatron? Can someone tell me in the comments below whether or not if that's what the heck that actually is? ANNY. I think it's anniversary leader class Megatron because next year is the 40th anniversary of the Transformers 86 movie. So I won't be surprised if they're going to do an anniversary line, but I would be a little bit I'm a little leery of that one. So it looks like they're doing a whole oh, this is the whole Swapticons thing that they announced a while ago. So this is all the stuff that's going to be released. There's Cyberworld stuff, which I'm not a real big fan of the secondary to third to fourth lines. So there is that. So anyways, let's swap to a different version of events here because we've got more. There is a lot more to be shown here. Um, so that one. Let's talk about wave 3 of Age of the Primes here. Now, Age of the Primes, once again, this wave is insane. Like absolutely insane. Okay. So firstly, we've got the this is who is this? I want to say this is Liege Maximo, but it's not. I think that's Onyx Prime. Yeah. So this is Onyx Prime right here. So that's what they're showing off here with this guy. These are just his computer images being shown right now, which is quite cool, I gotta say. I'm very excited for this mode, like the four-legged mode. That looks insane. So, like, just insane on that front. So, there's that one. Then we have Alpha Trion, and I think this is based off of a specific episode. Like this version of Alpha Trion is based off of one specific episode from the cartoon. I don't 100% know, but I know that the thing he's carrying is the Codex, and I know that the thing that is right there is supposed to be a pen and or a pencil, and the thing that he's got right back there is supposed to be an accessory for his ship. That much I do know. So let's do this real quickly. Let's just mute it all so we can get a good look at all of this before we have to. There's the back. It's quite nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. There we go. So that's quite nice about that. And then this one is actually something I thought was really interesting. This is Firelight from the IDW comics. And honestly, I've never really read the IDW comics, and because they decided that they weren't going to do the rest of the DJD from IDW, I decided that the that Tarn was not worth my time to get. And honestly, I'm kind of sticking with that because this figure also doesn't really seem to have any association aside from or not Firelight, Flatline, excuse me, it's Flatline, my bad. So but yeah, so that's what's going on with all of that fun stuff. And because, all of the juicy details of all these figures are pretty much just like, oh, well, we're going to repaint a few of them, but we're going to let y'all know it. So Now here we have Firelight right here, which is quite interesting. And like I said, I'm not really going to go through all the videos of all of this, so we're just going to basically go through the gist of it. So I do appreciate the fact that they are doing more aerial bots. I'm just not a big fan of the fact that they're all combiners, but nothing to it. Now we've got Micronus, and this guy is actually somebody I'm really intrigued about because this guy is supposed to be based off of a version of him that was it's like a cross between Transformers R 2015 RID Micronus and comic book Micronus. So that's one thing I was really concerned about because this character is one of those characters that's just so weirdly obscure that you just don't know what to do with it sometimes. So, and not to mention, this is the weirdest like alt mode I think I've ever seen for a husk of a figure because this is a shell. This isn't the actual figure. This is the actual Micronus, and hence why I said I feel like this guy is more aligned with the RID 2015 version of events than it is normally with the other stuff. But I can't complain entirely too much because it is wonderfully done. I'm just not a big fan of the fact that they redid that again. So, anyways, continuing on. This is G2 Venom or Venin. And this guy is based off of a character from the comic books and from a character. I gotta be real with you. This one made me laugh the hardest. Okay, because they already did some other versions of the G2 Insecticons and everything of that nature. This guy was the only one that was missing, and we all thought he was going to be a Generation Selects exclusive. And when they were like, "Nah, we'll just put him out with Age of the Primes, and we'll just release it," it was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, glad he's part of the team. So this is Skydive. I don't really think we need to take a look at Skydive. I also don't really think we need to take a look at G2 Universe, Slug and Slug and Snarl. I don't really think we need to take a look at that. This was the one set that kind of pissed me off the most when I heard about them re-releasing Sandstorm and Trigger Happy, or was it not Trigger Happy? Oh, good lord. It says it right here. So, just a second here. Yeah, Slug Slinger. That's it. Not good job. Anyways, so the reason why this one irritated me the most was because the figure itself is literally just a re-release of the one that they gave us in Legacy United, just given a different head sculpt and different colored hands. That's it. That's really it. And the same thing goes for Slugslinger. It's just that they literally repainted it to look more like it was in the comics and in the TV show. So let's just skip ahead here. Yeah, there's Slugslinger, the whole deal. I think this guy is quite possibly the worst one out of these two packs that they keep re-releasing. So, anyways, that's my opinion on those ones. Now there is something I do want to go over in one more aspect of the whole deal with you guys before we continue on, which is I do want to hold on here. I do want to do this. So let's do this. So we'll stop this one here. And so then we will add share screen. Okay. Now I do believe we already took a look at that. We already took a look at those. Let's take a look at this. This I do believe is what we're looking for here. Not just all of that, but they are releasing this. This is something that I think is kind of ridiculous. And literally just a way for them to get old product out when it doesn't need to be out. Okay. This is the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Decepticon 3-pack that you can purchase. And now, if you guys don't remember, for the 15th anniversary of the movie, they decided that they were going to re-release Jetfire Studio Series Jetfire, Studio Series 32 Optimus Prime, and Studio Series 52 RC Twins. So they decided to release that 5-pack, and this is basically them saying, "Oh, well, we're going to release the Decepticons version of it because those people, lots of people didn't get this version of Megatron right here." The reason why nobody bought that version of Megatron was because it wasn't worth it. And same thing goes with Soundwave. Soundwave was a terrible figure. The only figure that is really worth anything out of this whole getup right here is literally just Megatron. And if you subtract Megatron, the Fallen is the only one that's worth it out of the whole deal. So, in all fairness, like they seriously did not do this very well. They really did not. So, that's something that frustrates me the most out of it. But I can tell you this next bit. There are going to be a lot of cool re-releases coming this next year. So, and the reason why I say this is because there's going to be, let me just add another tab here really quickly. There's going to be a secondary subline in Target. So let me just get this really quickly here. Space. Okay, so the re-releases are going to be, I gotta find them. There were a lot of images that they were throwing out, like, oh yeah, well this one's gonna be coming out, this one's gonna be coming out, this one's coming out too, this one's coming out as well. There's going to be a genuine secondary line that Hasbro is going to re-release inside the Target brand as well. Which I don't know if you guys have seen those photos or not, but right now they're currently experimenting with the line. They're re-releasing parts of Devastator. They're going to be re-releasing certain figures in the Gamer Edition. They're going to be re-releasing certain figures from the earlier version, the earlier days of Studio Series. From what I understand, they might be releasing Studio Series #1 again back in there. This is also going to be the line that you're going to be able to get your Studio Series 86 Wheeljack, yeah. And it's also going to be the line that you get your Studio Series 86 Perceptor with all of the missing cassette tapes that we all still have not gotten yet. So, yeah. They're literally just experimenting with the line right now. They haven't got it completely out yet, and that's kind of a given because people, need stuff to buy, and they also need stuff for things to come out. So, yeah. Anyways, I think this is where we shall end the stream here because we didn't have too much of a turnout this time here. I mean, so if you do want to leave your comments now, leave them now. You might get shouted out before I decide to end things here this evening. So, but the point being is that we will have more stuff coming out later this week, or maybe not later this week, but probably later at the end of this month and beginning of next month, because that is when pre-orders are supposed to be coming out for Commander classes. That's when pre-orders for Deluxe classes are going to be coming out. That's when pre-orders for everything are coming out. So, yeah. Anyways, this is Thomas Fan 1 saying, do not forget to check out Jordy's Rail videos, Patrick with the Y, iStar552, Bravely GG, Take Along Productions, the good, or not the good, yeah, the awesome, blah, blah, blah. Lemon Lime Studios, Zaga the Animator, Kitten Cat 999, Alexander Rothschild, almost forgot him, and do not forget to also subscribe to the main channel because we do live streams every so often, is when we can. So yeah. Anyways, this is Thomas Fan 1 saying, do not forget to keep playing with your toys. Have a good rest of your evening.